this feeling, baby, we're invincible.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Notts County. As always, if you're enjoying the save, drop a like on the video. That'd be excellent. It's a really nice day today, and that's always a nice thing. I thought we'd start on the under 18s page. You might notice it's the under 18s now instead of the under 19s. I believe that's because as a result of our upping our youth level, we've been put into the Professional Development League North, which is like the second tier of that. And as a result, we're playing against much tougher teams. But also, given that I kind of moved up a load of players to the under 23s, and there's also not a lot left in our under 18 squad currently. I think some of the new players might get dumped straight in there, so it might not be quite the case. But I haven't really shown you guys this page for quite some time. But yeah, it's not the best in terms of squads, really. But regardless, it is Sunday, which means it's regen time. And oh, good lord, I've got a big bumper crop for you today. So if you want to participate in Regen Sunday, head over to the Discord, link in the description, drop your regions in the regen chat. You know what I like. I don't need to even talk about this anymore, do I? First up, it's Gregoire de Guigné, a Reunion Island. In fact, I don't even know what position he plays. Why can't I see that? He's the central defender. I should have guessed, really, given that it was highlighted. Yeah, he looks bloody good for 20 years old to be from the Reunion Islands and playing for Lynx, which I think is in Gibraltar. Then, Colin Firth. I mean, presumably he's got the player trait of bumbling Englishman. Then, thank God Ease. Lovely old job. Then, of course, Zorzor Ooh. This is one of my favourite ones ever, frankly. And I saw some of the news articles you put in there too. Delightful stuff. Then Matthew Williams, mainly because he's a Welsh dude that came through the academy at Red Star Belgrade. You can't go wrong with a player that's come through at Crvena Zvezda, can you? Also, has the exact same name as a friend of mine that passed away about 12 years ago. So there's that too. Then Roberto Totarto. I mean, he's not Italian, but he feels like he should be. Even though that's actually probably more of a Spanish name. Then Brian Williams, a Trinbagonian. So I'm guessing that's Trinidad and Tobago. I had no idea that was the sort of collective term for people from that nation. That's kind of cool. Also, he's bloody amazing. Then Pa Omar Savage. Brilliant. Absolutely terrific name. And he's American too. I love a good American regen. Then Chiwi Yong. Great name. Oh, sorry, not Chiwi. Chewy. He's literally Chewy. Delightful stuff. Also, I think this is the third week in a row that we've had an amazing Singaporean regen come through at Valencia specifically. I guess it's because of the whole Peter Lim thing, but it's still amazing. And lastly, Zia Raza, a Pakistani attacking midfielder. I have not seen any good players from Pakistan for a long time, so that's cool as well. Unfortunately, I have no entries of my own this week, unlike I have done in recent weeks, but yeah, we'll have to make do. Right, massive stuff today. So, two huge games, Manchester City and Spurs. But the main important factor is we ended last season on a bit of a downer, and we begun this season on a bit of a downer in terms of the results. And I made some changes, and I made one tiny change, and I think it's had a massive difference, not just in the positional change itself, but in opening up the most important factor that we've never been able to unlock in this team, which is the left side. Oh God, and I'll talk to you more about it as we get into the games. Because we got our first win of the season, albeit somewhat of a scrapey win. I have to say, it's fair to point out. That being said, the fact that we went behind in this game bugged me to no end. We collected 65% possession. As much as the board wanted me to play possession football, I wasn't trying to do that, but it does seem that that's now what's going to happen. Putting this advanced playmaker role has really helped us. Jean Carlos creating chances, getting key passes. He's doing stuff now in the team, but more importantly, he's opening up the left side. But here's what happened. We were pretty good up until about sort of half-time, 55 minutes, right? As good as we were against Watford, creating chances, I'll show you the actual match stats properly so you can see the amount of chances we've created over these matches too. But then when Noan Kenner gave Southampton the lead with literally their first shot of the game, I was livid, considering how well we played, but that's life. So I decided to make a little change because I was noticing that Jean Carlos was dropping too deep as a result of him playing on support as an attacking midfielder, and he was getting in the way of our midfield too. So I pushed him up onto get further forward on an attacking role, and now he seems to be sitting in that hole really nicely behind the striker, and we've now got 2 points of creativity essentially. But more importantly, Jean Carlos seems to be able to pick out players like Santana particularly in much more advanced positions. Dubois will play the long ball to Santana, but very often that gets cut out by the fullback. What Jean Carlos is doing is play that ball into the half space, and it's making a huge difference for Dario Santana, who's probably been our best player over this off-camera period. And that is the biggest change I've made of the tactic, and so far I am stoked with it. But yeah, it took a corner to get us level in this one. It was headed at goal, in fact, I believe by Jespersen, and then it bounced back to Celso, who put it in the back of the net. And then Thomas Stepanek in the 88th minute was able to give us a late victory. I believe the assist for that one came from Remy Dubois, who had a phenomenal time on the night. But we got the victory, importantly. And then away at Norwich, it was a very, very similar matter. Didn't manage to have the possession in this one, I've got to say, but we still managed to do the job. Dario Santana gave us the lead in this one, and as you can see, yet again, unfortunately, Armando Senya had to play in this one because it was an injury to Jean Carlos, but Santana, 3 chances created and 3 key passes from him on the left-hand side. All of a sudden, he's just been brought into the match by that positioning of that attacking midfielder, it feels like, and he was phenomenal in this game. Gave us the lead, but he also created tons of chances for other people. The Gregory Roux goal was a weird one. Fernandez whipped a ball in, and Roux essentially scored an own goal at the back post with his head, seemingly to prevent Santana from scoring. Or, I get the idea that Santana just grabbed the back of his head and thrust it into the ball, because that's what it certainly looked like. And then annoyingly, Norwich got on back right on the stroke of half-time, but it wasn't enough for them, and again, we were very good. Then a rotated side in the EFL Cup gave us a victory against Colchester United. I couldn't believe that it took us to the 86th minute to actually get this win when you look at the sheer domination that we had on the night. They had no shots and we managed to muster 16 on target and only scored once. That was a bit bizarre. Lancaster, though, what a ball to the back post to get Dario Santana in. Lancaster has got better and better, and this year I think he might actually be technically the number 2 player on that right hand side. He's just come out of nowhere and has really developed this time. But very, very rotated side, got the victory anyway. And another clean sheet. And then against Everton, it was more of the same. Then again, the possession in this one was a bit of a weird one. For most of the first half, we were up around the 60% mark, but Everton in the second half really tried to keep control of the ball. It didn't really lead to anything, but they did actually manage to do that. Guerra gave us the lead. Lovely ball played into the channel by Dario Santana. And Guerra just strikes it straight across the goalkeeper for a lovely one there. You could see Santana again. 2 assists and a goal in this game. Absolute glorious stuff. He set up Jean Carlos by nipping one across the box, and Jean Carlos was able to steal in there. And another good performance from the attacking mid. And then, of course, he was given his sort of reward at the end there. And I believe it was Sean Lancaster. Actually, this might have been the one that Lancaster assisted. I might have got that one confused with the Colchester one. Lancaster comes off the bench and sets up Dario Santana for a 3rd goal. But once again, creativity. Loads of chances, loads of shots on target. All the things I want are really starting to come together now. And I think this might be the approach to move on in future. Very, very pleasing. Because I said I wanted 7 points, and we've actually ended up getting 9 and look very, very comfortable in doing so. Santana, the best average rating in the league. This is a guy who I was starting to get a bit concerned about because he definitely was good last year, but I felt there could have been more. And this year he has hit the ground running at nobody's business. He's got 3 goals and 3 assists in all competitions so far. Absolute legend. Also, our goalkeeper has a 99% pass completion ratio over the first part of the season. It's insane. But today, we play against Manchester City. Now, the key thing to note as well, though, is that we've got games in hand on a lot of these teams. So if we were to win, we would go into 3rd place in the Premier League. And City are actually below us, albeit only on goal difference. But the thing is, even if we lose, we could still only drop down. Or actually, we could drop down because of the other games. We're in a good position, 4th in the league with a game in hand, admittedly against City. And they are the favourites, of course. But I'm confident about this. We've lost Perrier and Dubois to some injuries over this period too, though, which kind of does suck. God, our record against City is so bad in the league. So, this is the only change I made. So, he's now an attacking midfielder with get further forward on. That's the only changes I made to it, and it made a hell of a difference. It was just a bit of an idea based on what I could see from the positions in that Saints game, and it seems to have really helped. And Stepanek has a beard now. I swear he didn't have a beard before. Stepanek's also a little bit pissed at me because I didn't want to give him a new contract now because he's still got 3 years left on it. Who do I want to even play? Remy Dubois has performed amazingly, but everyone else has kind of slacked a little bit, so I'm actually tempted to go with Silla and Hubanov. The back line is good, although actually I want to go with Chitiyu today. Oh, no, I don't. I would have, but unfortunately not. Fernandez is great against the weaker sides, but I want a more defensively stable player for the games against the likes of City and Spurs, but we don't always get what we want to do. So the bench is going to be Griffiths, Lancaster, of course, Assman and Peppo, Drina, Lever, and of course Costel Troffin. Big stuff now. This is a massively important match for us. I want to see a response. I also want to see how this slightly different approach will fare against the bigger sides. I think it looks really good in controlling the matches against teams we should be beating, and I think that's an important factor because I don't think we were controlling those matches as much as we should have been, but I'm concerned that we might not be able to get our foot on the ball enough against the likes of City and Chelsea and United and stuff in order to do that. So we'll see how we do, but the home game should still be an important test for that. But I wouldn't be opposed to trying the wider approach come the second half of this match if it's not quite working, as we did in the Charity Shield final. Sorry, Community Shield. Oh, we've won it! Santana on the left-hand side. He's got support, sort of. Can he dig a cross out? He might, you know. And Guerra! Oh, not a bad idea. Oh, that counts as a clear-cut chance, apparently. Okay, Stepanek's hurt himself. Lancaster's on. Also, we're not creating enough. Generally speaking, the way I would then move to is that, against teams with that DM and this sort of setup. Oh, shut up. In the face. We've literally lost both of our first choice wingers in the first half of this match. We're not... I'm resting them. I'm doing recovery sessions. I'm doing removing training sessions of high intensity when there's a match involved. I'm doing everything I can to avoid injuries and we're still getting them. We don't even have Europe. What I would say, though, is once again, it's another 45 minutes against a team where we've given up no chances. I think we've only conceded in total 3 chances, be it a combined of half and click. I can't remember exactly which is which. Oh, Lancaster's in here. And Lever! Good strike. Nice work from Sean Lancaster. But we've only given up 3 chances all season. Are you shitting me? We've had 3 injuries in the same game. When did Alberto get injured? It didn't even tell me. It's going to have to be Assman, which is actually not the worst substitution in the world, but my God. Minivan is quite an appropriate name for a centre-back, really. You'd expect him to be built like one. I hope he's a 7-seater. This game is going nowhere currently, and I'm not entirely fussed about that. We're defending really decently. I have to say, we've given them some shots, fine. But again, it's about the high-quality chances. I feel like if there was XG available, theirs would not be particularly high, and we've had probably some high-quality chances. Don't let Farthing come all the way through you, please. Easily saved by Suarez. I'm concerned. Oh, Guerra's in. It's a bit too deep, maybe, and he's gone for goal, and he's missed it. Came back to haunt us there, and it might not be out of the woods yet. Dino. Florentino. Come on, lads. Hang on and get that draw. Dino. Uh-oh, Sonogo. Don't get that crawl across and... That surely counts as a chance, doesn't it? That feels like that should be at least a half chance for City. But that's life. Oh, God. I mean, we can't really complain in terms of the pressure they've put on us. But... He's found Lever. Can he dig one out for someone? He doesn't. John Carlos. And Zilla. Lancaster. Oh, and Guerra puts it wide. And it's another chance for us. Lever. Go on, one last ball over the top. John Carlos. It's going to be the end, isn't it? Oh, Guerra's in. Oh, come on! Sometimes I've got to say, it feels like there's a freaking force field around the goal. Like, that's such a good ball from Silla right at the end there, and Guerra has to be scoring that. I don't believe this. That is an insane game. Fair enough on their goal. The injuries, though, the chance creation, it's right there. And I still think that's a good positive sign, but my goodness, what is with this? Right, guys, we're back. God, that was a weird game. So, updates on injuries. Stepanek got a twisted knee, which meant he missed 4 to 5 days. He should actually be able to play this match. Santana, twisted ankle, 4 to 7 weeks. It'll probably be on the lower side, but still, that means we're going to be missing Santana. And the worst news is Hubanov, 7 to 9 months. Damaged cruciate ligaments. We lost 3 key players in that match, and only one of which is going to be back for today's game against Spurs. Oh, that was a real shitter. But I guess we can take solace in the fact that City probably will end up going on and winning the league again, I suppose. Right, selection advice. So, I do want to go with Chitty today because he's better defensively. I want Dubois back in there. Can he? Yeah, he can probably start. Oh, God, who to put next to him, though? I'm going to give Assman a chance today to play as the Metzala here, but I'm still not entirely convinced by him. Lever will have to play on the left. I think there's been an update to the game. I don't think it's a major update. I think it's just stability stuff. Because I noticed some of the interface bugs that I was noticing before are now fixed, which might again explain why the regen faces have slightly changed again. Good sign, though, in that the 2 games that we did lose this season in the league, I feel like we were unlucky to lose both of those, which is a good sign. And I don't think we've had any lucky wins yet, which is, again, a good sign of things to come, hopefully. But we'll see how we do away at Spurs. This would be a very, very tough test for us because our away record, yes, we got the win at Norwich, has not been stellar over the last few years. But I want to see if today we can control the match a little bit. But we've not played against a 4-4-2 with this new approach I've taken yet. And Celso with the header over the bar. Assman is once again having a really poor performance. I just don't know if he suits the style of play we're using. And Jespersen! Great ball in and another great chance for us. Harry Kane. Morat. Oh no! Dembele's over wide. And we've gone from nearly scoring at one end to immediately conceding at the other end. Spurs have been much better than us today. Away against these big sides, we really do still seem to be lacking a little bit. That being said, we should have done better with the initial chance. We couldn't get back quick enough. They really broke on us nicely. And Karamoko, I swear he scored a goal like this before against us. No problem with that finish. Jesus Christ. It's like just when you think you're kind of turning a corner. I don't know. Those injuries have really decimated us now. I'm making a double substitution now. Assman's been woeful. He has been absolute ass. Any thoughts to try and maybe block the cross at all, guys? Or are you just going to let them? It's 2-0 to Spurs. Comfortable. They've been really... I mean, we've actually been massively bad today. Against City, I could argue we should have deserved something. But today, we've been shocking. Like, just... I don't know. Do something. Like, all the good play we did exemplified against City has completely disappeared today. Good lord, man. Oh, good. Another injury. Oh, he's just gone straight past our defender. It's like watching a kindergarten team. Feel free to run at any point. Like, I've heard it helps. Not the best goalkeeping there from Suarez, but I don't know. I like it when defenders, like, I understand that he's trying to keep an eye on Harry Kane, but when in real life do players not just actually try? They just seem to let them run straight through. Seems we do no like playing a 4-4-2. That would be the... Ironically, we've still managed to create some chances today. We really are good on the creative side of things, but we've really been poor defensively today. And unfortunately, we're just getting injury after injury now. Lancaster into the channel. Can he dig a cross out? He does. Guerra! There we go. What a ball in from Sean Lancaster. Sean Lancaster has got some serious crossing ability, I have to say. He genuinely does do some brilliant work on that right-hand side. Almost better creatively, I'd say, than Thomas Stepanek. One touch to set himself. Wonderful whipped cross. Guerra gets in there with his foot, and that is one goal for us. Harry Kane, and for some reason our defender has decided to get behind him. Don't know quite why he decided that would be a good idea. Yeah, 4-4-2. We've been shit today. This is the worst I've seen us play all season. But again, what is our defender doing? So he's running alongside him, and then why does he just keep stopping? We were shocking today. Oh, Guerra's in again. And another good save by Nubel. And once again, we've still managed to create 5 chances in this match. Admittedly, we conceded 9, though, which is appalling. Well, Spurs 4, Notts County 1. Definitely our worst performance of the season by a country mile. Crap in every way. Just gave up so many chances. I don't know what the defenders were doing a lot of the time. Just ignoring people. Letting them run directly through you. I understand that the tight marking thing, but have they tweaked it so that tight marking means that they never leave them now? I feel like doing West Ham Liverpool in the next episode. That way we might get a chance to win against West Ham, following that up with probably more stuff away from home. Yeah, we've still not sorted out the Eureka. I know we should come up with another tactic, but honestly, when we tried the other DM thing before, it didn't really help us win matches away from home. It would just sometimes meant that we didn't lose them, and yeah, okay, that's fine, but we really are trying to do a bit more than that this season. Oh, dearie me. Unfortunately, I just think, once again, the lack of Dario Santana on that left-hand side has absolutely decimated us. We were really bad. I think he really does help from a defensive standpoint too, and he just makes the right run. Anyway, moving on. If you've enjoyed this episode in spite of that, 1 goal out of that, Jesus, how many chances did we create over those 2 matches to score 1 goal? 10? 11? If you've enjoyed it, drop a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. As always, hold your gun, capybara. I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully we've got some more positive stuff to talk about in the next episode. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.